This is part 2 of my interview of Ernest up here. And Ernest, say your last name again for everybody.
My last name is Honanie. It's spelled Honanie, and it refers to animal, a badger. So that's one of another species, I guess, that's it has a healing powers in it. So
What clan are you from?
I'm from the water clan, and they say snow, whatever the pertains to water, I guess we're related to those animals. So.
And the clan, now there were 4 original clans, correct?
There's actually more than 4. It starts out with bear,
Right.
and spider, and water.
Was Parrot?
Parrot's another clan.
Because the kids up on Old Oriabi are from the Parrot. A lot of the kids I interviewed up there were the Parrot clan.
The most popular ones that lead the way was the bear clan, and they're the ones that are like overseeing like Kachina dances that come through, and they're the ones that lead out into the plaza to feed Kachinas when they come.
Now the Kachinas, for everybody, are now there's stories about the Kachinas that live in San Francisco Peaks or Humphrey Peaks, whatever. What do you guys call them? The
We
peaks
call
up
them
there.
Nuvattukuyovi, Flagstaff, the
Right.
White Mountains on the west side of us, and we believe that's the home of our spirits. And when it's time, when their time has come to participate in our villages, we call upon them and they come and.
Now you believe that the spirits actually visit your dances, don't you?
Yes, they are the spirits we refer to. So we receive them well. We take care of them, and sometimes they give us joyful things to remember them by.
I went to a dance on June 5th, day after my birthday this year, with the Kima, and what we had there was we had the Kachina dancers were surrounded and they call them mud hens or mud heads or what?
Oh yeah, we call them goyamsis. White folks refer to them as mud heads.
Mud heads, right?
Yeah.
Now, were they the original creation of the gods on the earth?
I think they were brought in from Zuni. Some of the Kachinas were borrowed from the tribe from Zuni, and some of them came from the river there in New Mexico there, and some of them also are used in their tribes there, that we have them here, the same ones that we have here. So.
Do you mean the dancers are actually from New Mexico?
No, different ones,
Really?
Yeah.
So they weren't just from the village,
Yeah,
right? They were actually from New Mexico, the
some
dancers.
of them were borrowed and portrayed here, to show the people what they were and where they were actually from.
Now, were they the first, the Hopi's first people? To tell you where I'm going, and the Mayans, right? Mudman was the first creation of the gods put on earth. And they talk about how he squeaked and didn't make noise and didn't talk and all that and didn't say his prayers. And I noticed in the dance that they were acted the same way, that they didn't talk. They just made noises.
Just make motions.
Yeah. And then they were surrounded by the Hopi Kachina dancers.
Right.
And Akima told me that the Kachina dancers were protecting them. That's why they were in the middle. Now, would you interpret that the same way?
Well, I guess that's are you referring to the clowns?
Right.
Yeah, the clowns. They're there to keep the crowd, from not, I guess, keeping them there so they won't wander off, and just showing them what different stuff they're able to do. some of it's funny, some of them serious about it, and that I think they just there to.
Now I'm going to try and pan in. Why?
Entertain, the crowd while the Kachinas go for resting and remember their song. Next song they're gonna sing when they come back into the plaza.
And there's the plaza that Ernest and I are talking about right there in the middle of my screen. And what you'd have all the people, not all of them, but most people would be on the roofs, which kind of neat is about it is the people doing the dancing and stuff like that bring food, fruit, vegetables, candies, cooked goods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they distribute that to the people watching, to where you would ordinarily think it'd be the other way around, that they would be thanking the dancers, get my point?
Yeah.
But actually the dancers are providing the gifts to the audience.
Yeah, they bring different stuff, a basket of fruit. And what the local people try to do is invite outsiders in, their friends or different family members they see, they see them out watching the dance, and they just invite them in to feed them, so they can enjoy the day with the rest of the crowd.
You're trying to show a little more of the village here, off to Ernest's left here, or I guess you should say his right. And of course right up there in the background, we'll bring up to it. And Ernest, let's tell people about, let's see if we can get this in here, and I'm going to move the camera. And there at the top, now that's Old Oriabi up there, and Old Oriabi is the most known of the villages, of course, around the world.
Yeah, that's one of the oldest villages.
Yeah, some people believe it's the oldest continuously lived in village in North America.
People living there, and then what you see there is the old church that the Spaniards had destroyed, I guess.
Yeah, now the Spaniards made the Hopi build the church, didn't they?
Yeah.
Now the story I heard that the day it got done or something, it got struck by lightning and burned down, but I don't know. That's just what I've heard.
That's what everybody says, but I don't really know the story about it. But
that's the story I heard from the guys at Old Oriabi, from Lonnie and Patrick, and they should know.
They probably know a lot
more
of their village,
that would have happened, I think, at 1540 or right around then, in the early 1500s, when the Spaniards came through here.
Yeah.
Looking for, I'm trying to stabilize the camera, the wind's really blowing. Looking for gold. The seven cities of gold is the old tale. And believe it or not, to the world, the Hopis told the Spanish how to find the Pacific Ocean. And they led them, because their migration trails led all over North and South America.
Yeah.
And they led the Spaniards too. I'm sorry for the camera moving around. Like I said, the wind's really blowing up here. Led them to the Pacific Ocean. And then from here, they left to the east. And then went down in the western part of Arizona, which is called the Coronado Trail, of course, in the Coronado.
Yeah. And then they also went up north to the canyons in the Grand Canyon for salt and different minerals. And
they went to Grand Canyon, because that turned out to be what the Indians thought was the people that were sent them up here. That was the seven cities of gold. Might have been the Grand Canyon.
That's the place where I guess our ancestors go, when they leave us, and then that's where they say that not to go on there until your times come. So we try not to go into the canyons, but obviously it's interesting to people, so people can't stay away, but just to maybe go boating in that area and find out what's down in that canyon.
There are stuff that says that some of the clans were still doing migrations up to the Grand Canyon. And like I said, you learn about, first thing you learn about the Hopi is the different clans, like I said earlier, have the different tales.
Yeah, and I guess people just talk about like different villages like Hopevilla, they were people that were migrating up north toward Utah, Colorado area, but didn't make it all the way up there, so they started to build their homes in that area, in Hopevilla area. So,
well, the story now, Akima, and here again, Kima's from. I forget the clan of Kima's from. But after the split on Old Oriabi, that's how come Hoot Villa was started, and Hoot Villa Bakavi was started.
Up those 3 villages there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the third village?
Bakavi.
Bakavi, Hoot Villa, Bakavi.
Bakavi. And then up further north is Munkapi. A lot of folks from that area are from those 3 villages here.
Now that's the one that's outside of Tuba City, correct?
Yes, there's actually the upper and lower Munkapi village that are still occupied by village members there, and that's where the journey takes them from here to Grand Canyon when they went mining for salt with wagons, I guess, is what I heard.
Yeah, there's the stories about the migrations for salt once a year, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to bring up one other subject, and I don't know if, and Ernest may not want to talk about this, but almost everybody I ever talked to up here talks about their UFO sightings, the lights in the skies at night up here. Now, have you ever had any experience like that?
I thought I, visualized a few, but I don't know if they were any sightings. But me and my cousin were back over on the east side at the field one time, and we heard like a noise, like a airplane, and all of a sudden the noise went away, and it just like went by real quiet, and that was like at night, and it had different types of lights that you won't see on a regular airplane. And then another one I seen was when I was on my way to Tuba City, right around past Old Oriabi, and before you get to Hope Villa, we saw a big ship or something like, and it covered like the whole mesa. And
was it cigar shaped, or what was the shape of it?
It was like a oval shape.
It was like a flying saucer.
Yeah, it probably was as big as maybe Old Oriabi, like.
That's how big the craft was in the sky, right?
It was real low, and then there was lights all the way around. But I couldn't. At that time, I didn't believe in UFOs or anything. But
well, the Phoenix lights were like that. They just blocked out the sky. The object was that big.
Yeah, and then it just like all of a sudden it was just hovering right there, like I couldn't believe what it was.
Didn't want to accept it, did you?
Yeah,
I had my first UFO sighting was like that too.
Yeah.
Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I didn't accept it, so I just drove on and just let it be there and didn't even bother with it or turn back.
It was like a flying saucer or something like that, is what you're saying?
I couldn't see the black portion of it, but there was lights all the way around it.
Lights all the way around it, huh?
That's about all I seen around this area.
And this was above Old Oriabi, or was it above Hoot Villa?
Probably between Old Oriabi
just
and
between
Hope Villa.
them? Right, okay.
Before you go up into the crack there.
So the crack, yeah, exactly, exactly. Funny enough, now Lonnie's dad had a flying saucer land next to his cornfield, which is just, I'll pan over there. And you can see the edge of the mesa there at Old Oriabi. Now, their family's cornfields are right down at the bottom, right there.
Yeah.
And his dad, now they came and told me, but they didn't want to tell the other villagers because the other villagers think they're crazy, but they knew I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so my son and I were coming back from spending a weekend up on Old Oriabi. And just outside of, the intersection after you leave Winslow, not Jake's Corner, but where you go north to Flagstaff, then down to Phoenix, then up to Winslow.
Prescott or Payson?
Yeah, but above Strawberry. What's that little intersection there? But anyway, that's irrelevant. There's a flying saucer across the highway right above us.
Really?
And it went from treetop to treetop. And like you said, my son was having a hard time with it. But I'd already had several UFO sightings by then. And that's what brought me up to the Hopi, was the Hopis.
The sightings.
Yeah, you were past with the ant people and all the stories like that, of the Hopis' connection with the aliens, and that's what brought me up here.
Yeah, I don't really, still don't believe in them, but I guess they're around, and you can't.
Well, I guess if you saw one that big, you can't deny it.
Yeah, you can't even put them away by thinking about other people, visualizing them here and there. I just saw an article or news broadcast they were showing in Japan. I guess I just seen it like about a week ago that they were seeing sightings there.
Yeah, they're having a lot of sightings over Japan right now.
Yeah.
And that they're having a lot of sightings everywhere right now, bud. You know, but we're approaching 2012, whatever that stands for, and all that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're after, but
well,
maybe,
I believe they created us.
Yeah, maybe we'll see some cars in that type of.
Yeah, I am what you would call a firm. I'm a believer is the term they like to use.
Yeah.
But I've probably had close to 10 UFO sightings.
Oh, really?
And all of mine are with other people. And I just had a lot of them quality, and they're always never alone. I always had a witness.
Yeah, so, I just did that with one time with one of my cousins there.
We're going to end phase 2 here. We're going to go right into number 3 here. So God bless again, and we'll just keep going with Ernest here.